Hello YouTube. This week I've got the keys to a 2017 Volkswagen Beetle in pink. Let's take a look. This is the Pink Edition Volkswagen Beetle. The official color is actually fresh fuchsia. So don't adjust your monitors. It's not red and it's not a bright pink. It's kind of a fuchsia color. So this has, some additional things to the standard Beetle. The standard Beetle starts at 19, I believe, before any fees. So about 22,000 with all the fees. This one here is 27,000 with the fees, but it does include 18-inch wheels, and you'll see a special interior. And these nice kind of black moldings on the bottom, and the black wing, and a panoramic sunroof as well, large sunroof. It's powered by the same engine. It's only available in the automatic transmission. So it's a 6-speed Tiptronic automatic transmission. It's a 1.8 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine, and it has this bug badge on the back, which is kind of cool. It doesn't say Beetle, it actually says Bug on it. And if you flip the Volkswagen badge, like a lot of the new Volkswagens, pull open the trunk, which is somewhat heavy because of this heavy glass back here. Reveal your hatchback. This model has the Fender stereo system, so you have your large subwoofer in the back, which does take up a little bit of space, but not too bad. It's quite deep, so you do have a lot of space here. You've got a nice tonneau or cargo cover here. If we take that down, just to show you the flip seats, so this just kind of pulls off. You can store this down here. This here, so you just flip the seats if you need to get anything back there. They don't fold flat, they just kind of fold. Well, that one's getting stuck on the passenger seat, but it just kind of folds down like that. So it's not super practical for a hatchback, but there is quite a bit of space. You see this opening is gigantic, so you can, if your box isn't too large, you can fit a pretty big thing in here, like say a deep freezer or a stove or something would probably be pretty close to fitting inside this thing. So that's the back. Take a look around on the inside. As I mentioned, the interior is a little bit special. So you've got these pink seats, the pink plaid, which is, honestly kind of cool looking. If you're into pink, I guess. If you want to get in, it is a 2-door, so if you want to get in the back, you've got to do the flip and fold and push this seat forward to hop in. And it has memory because it's manual, but it does remember where that driver's seat is, so it's easy to kind of get back in, for the driver to get in. There isn't very much space back here at all, but headroom isn't too bad because of the bubble shape. And there's not much back here. Some mat pockets and a cup holder and a 12-volt plug. It's not really a place that you want to be for a very long time. There's a handle here to help you get in and out. And as you can see, this trim is all pink all around here. Or fuchsia, it's body color matched. Take a look at the front. And now I'll show you the front up in detail. So up front here, we do have this cool key, flip key, but we don't need it. It's not just keyless entry. We've also got keyless access. So there's you just touch the handle on the door and it'll open and lock. And then you've got push button start as well. So we push that, that'll fire up. Without pressing the brake, that'll just fire up the instrument panel here and fire up the radio. We do have dual zone climate control and parking sensors, which can be enabled, disabled. We got a 12-volt here. This is your 6-speed automatic. And down in here, you've got a USB and an auxiliary port. Manual handbrake, which is nice if you're into doing some drifts in your Beetle. Two cup holders in the front and an armrest. The armrest does have a tiny little spot. Well, I guess it's not tiny. You could fit a cell phone in there, but not much more. And typical Volkswagen armrest where it ratchets and stays, and you can kind of lock it in all those positions. And then when you go up, then it goes all the way back down, so you can kind of lock it where you need it. Radio has been upgraded as well. I believe it was upgraded in 2016. It used to be super slow and not very good at all. Now you've got Android Auto and Apple CarPlay that's available with this. And as you can see, as you move your fingers close to it, this bar it's got a sensor to see when you're getting close to it. So this bar comes up to take more space, and you come in the setup, and it's pretty quick and responsive. And you can kind of drag and slide these volume controls, and here's your radio stations, media. So if you get Bluetooth connected, and your phone connected, which I haven't connected any of this stuff yet. And then here's your different apps, your setup. You can do it this way. Images. Of course, you have to plug something in. Like I said, I haven't done anything. I mean, there's not a ton of stuff in here. And there's no navigation included, but we're talking about 27,000 Canadian. So I don't really expect it, but if you use your Android Auto or your Apple CarPlay, you get navigation, so you don't really need it in there anymore, I don't think. This is kind of a pet peeve of mine. The volume control, the center of it turns, so then it's never straight up and down, the power button, unless you turn it and then use your steering wheel volume controls, which are here. Then I guess if you leave that there, I guess some people are really bothered by that. It doesn't bother me that much, but it is kind of weird that they didn't center that. Anyways, inside your instrument panel, your gauge cluster here, you've got a nice large speedometer, and actually not so typical with Volkswagen, you also have a large gas gauge. Usually it's kind of a smaller gas gauge with a lot of increments, usually I believe 1/16 of a tank increments. This one has 1/8 of a tank increments, but they're nice and large, so it's, that gauge, you can see here I've got a full tank of gas. I've only put on 50 kilometers on this tank, but it's already moved because they have a lot of resolution between there. You got a tiny small tack on the left-hand side, and then you've got that big speedometer, and you've got in here your different settings, fuel consumption, average consumption, travel time, and your coolant temperature, oil temperature, and you can actually put a digital speedometer in there as well. Average speed and odometer, and distance, range, 670 kilometers on a tank of fuel, according to this, and that's actually after I've put 50. So we're over 700 kilometers that you can get on this tank of fuel, which is pretty good. It's saying I've averaged 28 liters per 100 kilometers, which seems a little bit excessive. I think it wasn't reset. Also included in this package, you've got the rear traffic alert and blind spot detection, which you can see here. You can turn on and off. And then Bluetooth audio. And there's a bunch of settings. Service. Info. There you go. So oil service, a number of days, and how many kilometers you got left to do that, and inspection. So there's a whole bunch of stuff in there most people will never play with, but you've got your basics in there for your fuel consumption and your speedometer and that. On the left here, we've got automatic headlights, which is also included in this package. As I showed in the back, you've got the matching body panels, and actually you've got this color matched as well around the vents and all around here. This is all color matched. So on the left, as I said, we've got the headlights with fog lights as well. You've got your dimmer for your dash, and I believe this is the lights, the light angle if you got the car loaded up. And I haven't quite figured this one out. So comment in the comments if you know what this is for. I thought this was for the colors, so it's R B and W, so I'm assuming it's red, blue, and white. See, so I turned on the headlights so you could see this. Hopefully the camera can pick it up. It's red, and then I'll change this to white. It's still red, so I don't know what that switch is for. So yeah, go ahead, comment in the comments if you know what that's for. Maybe I've got to press something else to get it to work. So what else we got here? We've got this manual sunshade, which is quite large because we've got this nice large sunroof, and it can tilt up and down. And actually, this round dial, which is really nice, you can actually, let's say I wanted to go 3 notches. It will only open 3 notches. If we go all the way, just flick it all the way in there. So it doesn't open all the way. It only opens, it's about a foot. But you can actually control it 1 notch at a time and pick. So the Germans are very particular about allowing you to pick every single setting you could ever want. And this is one of them. They let you to pick about 1 inch at a time. I don't know, maybe 2 inches at a time. You've also got a rubberized bin up here. If you want to throw a flower maybe up there or something. Some trinkets and a little glove box here. Very small glove box. Throw the keys in there to give you kind of an idea of how big it is. It's not very big. But you've also got a regular glove box underneath, which is your regular size, with your owner's manual and that in there, so you do have a secondary. So it's just kind of a cubby hole to throw maybe some Kleenexes or maybe your cables for your phone and things like that in there. You can throw it, and it is rubberized a little bit inside there as well. And all this is kind of hard plastics. This is all hard plastics, of course, and piano black shows dust like crazy. But it looks nice. I mean, it's not super... So I think the interior looks pretty good. If you like pink, that is, if you're into the pink Beetle. Let's take it for a drive. So if you put your foot in it, she moves pretty good, actually. The turbocharged engine, it is a 1.8 liter, 170 horsepower. And there's a little bit of turbo lag. It's the same engine they use in the Golf. It is a Golf, just that it's with a different body on top. But it drives well. It's solid on the road. It's got that German feel. It's a little bit of road noise intrusion into the cabin, but it's not that bad. So it's kind of funny because I was complaining all winter about the winter tires causing the noise in the cars, but I still haven't got rid of winter tires on a test car yet. So I'm still driving with winter tires right now on this car, and that does lead partially to some of the noise in it. But it drives well. For 27 grand, you can't really go wrong. You get a ton of features with this. The large sunroof, blind spot detection, Android Auto, dual zone climate control, rear traffic camera. It's got a lot of the desirable features that people are looking for right now in a basic kind of somewhat economy car that has some style and looks kind of cool. It is actually kind of fun to toss around this little car. I mean, it is, like I said, a Golf underneath, and you can kind of toss it into corners. Even with the winter tires, it's kind of fun to drive. There you have it. I'm hoping this picks it up. The jewels on the headlights here, which is kind of cool. LED daytime running lights, I believe that's what that is. And they're kind of jeweled along the edge, which really does add to the look of this pink Beetle. It makes it look a little bit female, I guess. Take a look around the last time. It's a nice looking, it's a nice looking car still, even though the Beetle kind of body is maybe a little bit long in the tooth for some people. They've been producing this car for an awfully long time, right? The original Beetle, of course, which is iconic. and then the new Beetle, and this, what the journalists like to call the new Beetle, whenever they updated it a second time. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe to my channel.